I've gone on a mental spending spree on eBay. I sold my VR headset because I wasn't really using it. I don't have the space for it. Um, yeah, and I put it towards other things that I think people would consider a waste of money, but it makes me happy. This is me selling the MetaQuest 2. I got £210 for it. I did sell it. I listed it for 230 because it got the Elite strap. Um, Through some of those used shops, when they give you like how much they would pay you, I was only going to give you about 120, I think, something rubbish. So I thought I'd sell it private. Someone offered me 210, so £20 less than I was listing it for. But I thought I might end up um, reducing the price a little bit anyway. So when they offered 210, I was like, you know what, you might as well have it because I'm not using it. It's just literally sitting there. So they gave me a little bit of spending. A little bit of spending. So what I've done, I bought a lot of VHS tapes, cassettes. I already had some at home, but I haven't got enough to really truly enjoy it. I want to expand my library. When you start going down the collecting mindset, you start to realize the value of each film roughly. You start to understand. Unless it's iconic, this is the sort of price I want to pay because you start finding bundles everywhere. And it's those bundles that send you on a freaking spending spree. So this one here has got. This wasn't. It didn't cost a lot of money. I don't think it actually says how much I paid. £9. So make it even bigger. Oh, we can go bigger with this. Oh, bigger goes smaller. How weird. So yeah, got a lot of good films here. The Insider I love. You've got Hunt for Red October, Pelican Brief, A Time to Kill, The Rock and Heat. And I love The Rock and Heat. The Rock I think is incredible. So 3 great films for me, and I think Hunt for Red October is okay, and the others, but they're the 3 main ones. That was cost me £9, but I thought, yeah, I definitely need The Rock in my collection. Otherwise, it's not a collection. That's how I was feeling. So we got that. I purchased that one for £9. It started my little spree off, to be honest. Little pep in my step. Believe me, I had maybe 30 tabs open at that point. I was going crazy. Like, I'm interested in that, interested. And then you have to whittle it down to what one you're actually going to buy. So I didn't do anything on a whim. This was well thought out, and I was driving myself absolutely mental. So with this one, it was £4. I think I paid £4.50 total. Yeah, I think so, like 4.50. So it's cheap, very cheap. It's got Signs with Mel Gibson, and the other one I really wanted was Dangerous Minds with Michelle Pfeiffer. That's a really good one when she's having to go like a teacher into a school and they're really horrible. I think that's the one. I think that's the one with the Coolio song. I can't remember the name now. How bad's that? Gangster's Paradise, I think. I think it might be that. But this one I've never seen, so I didn't buy it for that film. But it's an option, isn't it? So, I bought it for the other two and I thought it was a really good deal. So it says £6 or best offer, but they sent me one of those offers. If you watch items, you often get offers where they just try and rush the sale. So they offered it for 4.50, so I grabbed it at 4.50. Yeah, 4.50 there. Then I went and found another trio bundle, not realizing until after that, really, that I already had A Time to Kill in one of the other bundles. So that was my own fault. But it was the Negotiator and Deep Blue Sea that I really wanted because I remember them from back in the day. And I got the Negotiator on DVD, but it'd be nice to have them. What did I pay in the end for that? Oh, £2.23, about £5, £5.50. It doesn't matter. I can sell the other one later. This is the one I've got duplicates. Then I bought myself a tape deck player for a cassette deck for my stereo system. It's an optional extra that you don't need, but if you want tapes, and I'm just going down a rabbit hole here, and I'm like looking at everything I've got. I've got vinyl records, I've got CDs, I've got mini disc, I've got an iPod, I've got DVD, got Blu-ray, got a VCR, so VHS tapes. I'm thinking you don't need cassette, but you should have cassette. So I was like, you know what? If I can find one, I'll get it because I was looking everywhere. I was thinking about getting alternatives to different branded ones, but then it's like too much hardware. My vinyl record player is separate to this. It's in a little different location. I run RCA cables to the stereo system this will attach to, which goes to the speakers. So it makes sense to get the tape deck for that, really. And it's going to fit perfect because it's the same thing. So that's going to be fun when that turns up. I'm really excited for that. Get back because actually, what it is, there's a reason I want tapes because CDs you can replicate. For instance, you can get yourself a DVD CD drive for your laptop or whatever. You can make your own CDs. That's all great, but it's a lot harder to you can't replicate a tape. You know, you can buy a blank tape and sort of record bits and pieces, but then the blank tapes nowadays are going to cost you just as much as the tapes, the cassettes. So for me, it's very nostalgic in a sense that it's hard for us to duplicate at home. So I'm thinking that's becoming more collectible to me. I don't care if it's collectible to other people. It's just, so what do I want? And I really want to be able to collect that because I'm recognizing its value in the sense of its rareness now. So I bought a few tapes. I was really just going through what's cheap enough. I don't want to be spending fortunes at the moment, bear in mind. So I've got Genesis. We've got Simply Red, Wet, 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 and another Genesis Live one, this one. Then we've got Johnny Cash Live. So I thought that'd be nice, interesting takes. Then I left it a day and come back to it because it weighed on my mind. I love Sleepless in Seattle, the movie. And I didn't even realise there was like the soundtracks. I don't think about it. And I saw it on tape, like cassette. And I was like, okay. So I started doing some research, realising you can get it on CD or cassette. So what do I want it on? But I thought, to be honest, I don't really listen to much compilation on CD. I prefer to just listen to my albums. But I thought a tape could be fun. So I listened to the tracks on Spotify, the Sleepless in Seattle soundtrack, just to see if I could listen to it. Because cassettes are going to be harder to pick a song. You're going to forever go fast forward, rewind, it doesn't have tracks. So I had to make sure I could definitely listen to it. I think there's only maybe one song in there I didn't like, I think. And it was like, that's fine, I can just get through that. So that only cost me £3. And I think just having that on my shelf, even, it's going to look cool. So even if you didn't listen to it, it looks cool, but I'll be listening to it because I like it. So I got Sleepless in Seattle, which then got me on to The Bodyguard. Because we all know the soundtrack to The Bodyguard is awesome because it's Whitney Houston. And again, I think that one and that one on the shelf will look cool. Then I went down the path of my VHS tapes looking, as I was going through job lots, I was seeing random tapes. So there was a bundle that had Beetlejuice in it and it had a few others, but it was £60. And I thought, what a nutter. What's an absolute nutter? Bear in mind the price of the other ones were like £9, £10, £5, you know. It's like, this one here, for instance, is £9.10 with 6 films, and I consider them great. Then someone's selling Beetlejuice and some others, maybe 6 films, and they're £60. I'm like, are they on something? Are they nuts? So, to put it into perspective, I've paid £15 for Beetlejuice. It looks great, and we'll show it in a minute. If I can just open it there. If we do Beetlejuice, for instance, and this is where my curiosity was piqued. Because I didn't realise, because I hadn't looked it up. So we do Beetlejuice VHS, because obviously there's so much memorabilia. So now with Beetlejuice VHS, right, we want to do buy it now, and we want to do lowest price possible. Now we want to get rid of America, because there's too many listings for America, and we're not in America. So America, maybe you'll have more luck. In the UK, this is interesting. Is this a copy, or have someone actually released this? There's a this wasn't there before. It's a VHS of the original Beetlejuice. And it says Beetlejuice. Is that the new one? Beetlejuice 2. Have they actually created Beetlejuice 2 on VHS? Because I'm curious. I'd have to look that up. Either someone's duplicated it and it's a fake, or they've literally decided to release. I'd love if they started releasing films on video. So anyway, let's just go through the list we've got. Bear in mind, I paid £15. It looks great. Right, this is my one. £15, looks great. A little bit of tearing at the top, but slightly. I think it's only because it's outside the plastic, so it's done a little bit there. But overall, really happy. £15. Looks mental, doesn't it? I don't know if you're seeing it, but I'm really excited for that come. Yeah, Beetlejuice 1988. There you go. So anyway, I've paid £15. You think that's a lot of money compared to the other ones. Then we start going down a rabbit hole here. Forget that one. It weren't there before, and I don't know if it's genuine. That's a cartoon. Now, all of a sudden, the cheapest one available is £25. So immediately, if I was to try and sell my one, it's 25 quid, £10 profit straight away. But not just that. How many are available? Let's see how many actual genuine Beetlejuice VHS is available. Not the price, because it's irrelevant. It's just rare. One, because that's an animated one. That's some sort of prop. It's not even a film. And that's I'm not even sure if that's a thing, but that's Beetlejuice 2, and I'm not even sure it's genuine. I'd have to look into it. But from the actual original film, how many VHSs are there? 1, 2, 3, 3. Oh, and that one is 1, 4. I didn't think it was, but I had to do a check. So 4. There's 4 listings for Beetlejuice on VHS. So even if you think, oh, that's not too bad, well, okay, but there's only 4 listings. 4 people buy them, you ain't got any more. That's bad. But it did go down here, fact match fewer words. That had it listed, someone bought it because I went on that listing already. That's not Beetlejuice. Oh, yeah, this is the only other alternative. Okay, there's one more Beetlejuice in the UK, and it's this listing for £60. It comes with Gremlins, Beetlejuice, E.T., Lost Boys, and the other 2. That's still crazy because Gremlins you can get for tenner. Beetlejuice is 25. E.T. I don't think is particularly dear. I still think it's pushing it, that price, but still, it's still not too far off in all honesty. That's quite crazy how expensive some of these films are, you know. So it's grab them while they're cheap. So like I said, I paid 15 quid and I'm nowhere near these prices. And I think it's only going to get more expensive. So I grabbed it well good. Well happy with that purchase. So what seemed like an expensive purchase, a gamble, has turned into a master stroke of genius, in total honestly. Then I was like, what next? Then I went and bought Ghostbusters, the original. And again, if we was to go on the top, let's get back to Ghostbusters. So now we're going to do Ghostbusters VHS. It'll probably come up the American shit again because it's getting on my nerves. It sometimes resets itself. Or if you scroll too fast, it will come up in the listing, which is why there's so many listings. So it says 118. It definitely isn't 118. I'm going to count them as we go really a little bit. So these are animated. Right, first one we see is £9. It's got both Ghostbusters together. Now that's great if you're not a collector and you just want to get some VHS tapes to build your collection up. Fine, that's not a collectible item. The collectible items are going to be the very originals when they released. It's not going to be when they decided to do a bundle together to make something cheaper. When you get that tacky Cinema Club logo on the side here, we'll just go into it just to show the differences. If you've got to think, if you're collecting now, this is what you do. And it's personal, you know. Collecting's personal to the individual. I just want quality though. So I only paid about £8 for this, and I've got lucky. The alternative is you can pay £9 and get this one. So you've got that tacky Cinema Club label on it. I don't like that. I know it's something it's trivial, but still. And then I just think it's all tacky as well, the way it's outlaid and stuff. It would be bored in my collection. I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't like that in my collection, to be totally honest. But if you had no choice and they've run out of stock of everything else, fine. But they haven't, and I'd rather have the one film for the price of the 2. But what you'll find is Ghostbusters 2 on video is very rare. So if you genuinely want to watch the film and have to have it because you want to watch it on VHS, then you may have to go this route. But you can always buy these. I would suggest buying the rare ones first, and you can always buy this bundle later if you really wanted it. That's how I'm operating anyway. So just to go back through, where's the listing gone? So the first one starts out at £9. Then we've got another one of the same sort of thing. It's I don't know why it looks different. Anyway, it's different design. Animated, another one of this, another split one. Have you noticed that the split ones are cheaper? That's the thing to notice. We're not seeing the one on their own at the moment. We're just seeing the double one because they're just not as desirable. Shawshank Redemption could be worth getting though, but I see that in a lot of job lots, and that's worth looking at. Bundles when you see films. Same with that. So effectively, £10 you get all them. Whereas you buy it from that person, you get £10. You only get the one. Well, what's the point? I might as well get it there. But like I said, I want the individual film. So where are we going? Bear in mind, I paid 10. Or was it 8? About £9, I think. Just want to see what the first price starts off at with an individual one. So on the first page, it is nothing. Now we should be getting closer to it. No, yeah, okay. The first sign of anything, £20. I paid £9. Now we're looking at 20. So the point really is I'm spending and I'm not losing though, because if I listed it immediately, I can get that. Obviously that has to sell. but they, I have no doubt if when people start collecting them, that'll sell. You'd get more than that in the future. But what we're going to do now, we know it's 20. I'm going to count how many original Ghostbusters are available in the same vein that I bought my one. How many of these ones exist on eBay at the moment? And that's at the moment. And I'm doing buy it now, for instance. There may be some left on the auction side. I hate auctions. But we'll do this. So that's my one. That's the first one we've seen. So 1, 2, 3. What's a bit of a different logo in it? 4. 4. That's Ghostbusters 2, by the way, there. 5. 6. 7. So there's 7 available individually, and I think there's 2 or 3 listings with Ghostbusters 1 and 2 together. And the listings start at £20 all the way up to £700, which is a bit mental. I'm not sure they're going to get £700. But I think some of them come in different boxes, like these big boxes as well. So if you're going to be a deep collector, you're probably going to look for specific versions. This one says Ghostbusters 1 and 2 rental. Problem with rental ones is they're going to be butchered, overwatched. So the actual tape would be terrible. It says X rental big box, so there's that. But yeah, there's just not that many available, so it becomes less about the price. It's, do you want to collect it or not? And I want to collect it. So I'm very fortunate that I found them cheap. So far, I've done bloody well with Beetlejuice and Ghostbusters alone. So I've invested my VR into the past. Yeah. So that's that one. Then Gremlins 2 and Gremlins. I don't think Gremlins 2 is particularly rare, but then it's like how rare's rare, So if we do Gremlins 2 VHS, I hope we're on right. Yeah, so we've got Gremlins 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's 13 last time I looked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, that's in Germany. That's a different one. Yeah, we don't want German. UK only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Another German one. 11, 12, 13, 14. It's a mess. No, 13. Let's jump to America, Bloom. Why is it doing that? 13. This one's English, though. Okay, 14. Yeah, it's all going to America, though. That's the problem. It's messing it all up. And American ones, from my understanding, is that their sleeves are like cardboard. And I think they look good, but it's like, I think preserving cardboard's a nightmare, to be totally honest. Yeah, so we're looking around about 13, 14 copies of Gremlins 2. Again, we're not talking about the prices, although the prices vary. It's more, again, that's not that many in circulation. Not to say someone else won't list one and they're not available. It's just, you take a risk, don't you? If you know something's not going to be available much, it's like maybe take heed of that. What I did notice was there was a few of the double ones, a bit like the Ghostbusters. I actually think the design looks cool. So personally, in the future, if I find it cheap enough, I may buy it. Or I might, not cheap enough, if I see it in a bundle. If I find a bundle that has that and some other films, I would get it because I think it looks quite cool. But I wouldn't get that at the expense of the originals. I just like the look of the logo, the cover, but not to the same degree that I like them on their own. But that's an option anyway. And I think that's the thing. If you ever run out of originals, you can always collect them. At least you've got a copy of them. But I think on your videos, on your collection, it's going to look so cool. So we could do Gremlins VHS. The trouble is, when you type that in, we're going to get Gremlins 2 intertwined. I want to make sure there's no American, because I don't know why it keeps defaulting that. It always wants to throw other areas at you. So this is sleeve cover. It's not even the film. Does my head in because it can confuse you. Gremlins 2. So let's see how many original Gremlins are available now. Right, what do I, before I get there, just say there's different cover designs. So this one here is, you can tell it's an after stock. Like, it's got this border around the top. I straight away noticed that. And the big picture. If it's just released, it wouldn't have that. There's no reason for it. You usually do that when a different company starts printing the videos. So maybe they've changed distributor or something, so they changed the design of it. And that's a small thing, like, not being funny. When I was younger, I wouldn't have cared. When you're buying films when you're younger, who cares about any of that? I just want to watch the film. As you get older, you just want to have that sense of the film's just released, and I've got a copy of it just as it released. It's that feeling. That's really what it is. So I want I want the original designs of things. That's why I do. I don't do it because of the value of it to a point. Of course, I am thinking about the value at the same time. So maybe there is that, but there is that feeling of having, and I think that's why the value is there anyway. And of course, it becomes rarer. If something was produced before, it's harder. I think it's only because I think it's harder to maintain something over the years, especially decades, which is why sometimes you're going to see some damage. But because these are plastic, I think we're lucky we managed to preserve them, whereas American ones, I don't. I think they're butchered. But yeah, you just got that there. That's that design. So what we're going to do is count them, and then we'll just count how many are like the original design, for instance. So these are Gremlins 2. We can't count that. So 1, 2. Wait a minute. I've got to check this because I think it's just a cover. It's ridiculous if it is. It's not even the film, is it? Jesus. And it says reproduction. They're charging £11 for that. It's because people want it on their wall, I guess. Maybe. We have to go back. Right, start with that. 1, 2, 3. That's the second one. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm reluctant to say that one because it's a complete rip-off cover. It's black and white. It's not the real one. I think it was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You've also got it in that one. So we've got 14 or a bundle, which includes 50, that makes it 15. So there's 14, 15 available. If you're looking for the very original covers, though, you've got to take out about 3 of them. So maybe there's about 12, I think. But there's some are big cases, some are small cases. It really depends what ones you want. I don't really like big cases. So even if that big case, for instance, one for £35 was worth more money, even if it turned out that was worth more, I don't care. I don't want that in my collection. I don't like it. I don't like I know what that is. I don't like the design of it. They're very padded and they're bigger, and it looks horrible in your collection for me. So there is a line I will draw. I don't care if that's worth 5 times more than my one. Yeah, I don't like them. So I wouldn't even like looking at that in my collection, to be honest. So if it's rare, really rare, and it's worth more, I honestly don't care because I'm more interested in my collection than the money. So I want. See, this one we don't want because it's got that border. We just want this one where it says we're back. So this is the one we want. And you just got to look around. So for instance, it's unfortunate because what it is, the sleeve can drop down, and it's a bit like the video games. And if it stays down all the time, that's why it's crushed here. It just gets a bit tatty. But to be honest, that ain't too bad anyway. It's not like that's not bad. 1988 package design, 1988. So this is the ones you want to get. How much is this one going for? £16 plus delivery 20. So it's £10 more than mine, but eventually, that's the norm. Not everybody's going to get it cheap. So I'm going to have that as well. There's going to be times when I want to film. Someone else would have bought a cheaper one that I didn't even know they bought because I didn't see it, or maybe they got it after I saw it and didn't buy it yet, and I'll have to pay a little bit more. So you're going to win some, lose some. It comes down to me personally: is what one do I want in my collection, and am I happy with the price? Not, I could have got it cheaper 10 minutes ago. It'd be like, am I happy with the price for that? And overall, to be totally honest, to own the Gremlins on VHS, yeah, I'd pay it. Because you don't have to build your collection all in one day, So even if That's not that bad. One day they could be £60 a film. We're seeing it now with some of the people trying to get a load of money, and I wouldn't be surprised. All it takes is everybody holds on to their films, and everybody collectively just says, "Well, I'm listing it for that price, £50." Now all of a sudden, if you can't get it less than £50, what's the price? £50, because there's no reproduction. And even if they re-released it, it's not the original. So yeah, I think personally, it's definitely wise to get collecting. So I don't feel bad about my purchases. So like I say, I've got them now, and then I've got this couple of box sets I bought, big box sets. We'll go on to the really big one in a minute. It's an absolute mess, but it's cheap, and it's the same price as this one, pretty much, because I got it for 12. Well, mine's £12.50 total. So there was £8.50. They sent me a link thing for like save £1. I thought, oh, I'll get it then. Because just to explain, I'm not going to go for a whole search now. I'm just going to show the box sets because I've already done a little bit of research after or during. So it cost me £12 total for this. Let me do this. I don't know if you can see that. Okay. So to put it into context, it's got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 13 films. 13 films cost me £12.50. So that's £1 a film. So that's good. I tend to have a rule of thumb of £2 a film. So that tells me if I like 6 films, £2 a film, it's covered itself. And then you've got some spares you can sell. Yeah, that's how my mind was working. Now, Any Given Sunday is the one I really wanted, and I do want Gladiator. So Any Given Sunday I found quite cheap, but by the time you paid delivery on its own, it was a £5. Now, doesn't mean it's not in a bundle somewhere else, but I can't really be bothered to keep looking everywhere, to be honest, because some people don't title it. You only come across it randomly. This is an opportunity now. So, I'm like, all right, I'd have paid the £5 for it, to be honest. So it's £12.50. So that means everything else is £7, in comparison. And I wanted Gladiator, and I've seen that in a bundle for like £6 with a couple of other films. So the option was get Any Given Sunday on its own, and then get Gladiator as part of a different bundle. And you could do that, but then I thought, you might as well just do this because you can sell the ones you don't want. Effectively, every time because I want to start doing that, I want to start finding some cheap boxes and take the ones I want and then start doing some reselling because I might as well. Effectively, then I get mine cheap and eventually, if it works, I mean, obviously it's not always going to work out, but you can hold it forever. Who cares? I'm in no rush to get rid of them. But eventually what will happen is it'll pay for the ones I want. So let's say I bought this box and I can manage to sell the spares for almost what I paid. Then the ones I took out, I've got for nothing, haven't I? Smart. But it won't always work out like that. But even if you only get a little bit back, you've still got something back, haven't you? So it's still cheaper. So what I was saying, I was wanting to say was it's 6 films. If I can find 6 films I want, then it pays. Then that's what I'd have paid anyway. So we got Any Given Sunday, Road to Perdition, and Gladiator. I want all them on video. I want Apollo 13 on video. I love that film. And it's Saving Private Ryan's fine. I don't mind. It's a great film. It's just been overwatched. That's the problem. And I do like Rules of Engagement. So we've got 3 films at the bottom, 3 at the top. Thin Red Line, I would consider keeping. Primary Colours, I'm not sure. And We Were Soldiers. I'd have to think about it. Some of them I don't consider classics, and I'm fine with just having a DVD or something of them. But then, anyway, let's say I didn't keep any of them. We just kept the 3 at the top and the other 3. That still leaves me with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 films I could potentially sell. And once you've got enough, you can start doing like little bundles of 3s and things. So yeah, that's interesting. So I feel like I'm going to get my money back on that one. So that's nice. Again, it depends on other people buying them, of course, but it is what it is. Again, no rush. Then that was the last thing I bought, and it was like I wasn't going to buy anymore. So I was like, oh, but that was a good deal because I really wanted Any Given Sunday. I love that film. The speech with Al Pacino is worth it just for that, and Gladiator as well. This is one I really took a chance on. 72 bundle, and it cost me £13.50. You don't have to do the maths on that. That's profit if it's not crap. So they initially listed it a little bit higher, but I got a link and it was £13.50, a save £1.50. Now I've been through all this after the fact. One I messed up on, and it's like a bit disappointing. But got to remember it's £13.50. What is that? It's like a McDonald's. So let's start at the bottom of the box. Effectively, they took layers and took photos. So I've done some research. Meatloaf, for instance, is about £5 or £6. I actually wanted that. I was thinking about getting a live video, and that's Hits Out of Hell. I don't think it's live, but either way, pretty cool. So that is £6 on eBay right now on its own. And Queen live in Budapest is about £5 or £6 too. So I paid £13.50. Those two films independently would have cost me the same as the whole box. So now everything else is a given. It's a free. It's a free for all. That's pretty much. Is there a way to make this bigger for a minute? So if we think about the ones I will keep now, because these are all free to keep now, and the rest is free to sell at this stage. What a bargain! But there is a problem. He did write in the listing that 90% they can't guarantee anything because effectively they just keep getting stock. I think they just get stock in bulk, sell it all. Stock in bulk, sell it all. He said on average 90% is usable, 10% might not be any good, and you can't guarantee. That's just a consensus. You know, it might be that half of it's shit. I don't know until it comes. So I'm hoping the ones I want will be good. They may just be empty boxes. Who knows? We'll find out. £13.50 is not that loss. But anyway, let's say it all works out beautiful, hypotheticals and all that. I'd keep Titanic. I would keep Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I'd keep Fantasia, only because I've got Disney films anyway. I might as well collect the Disney ones as they come in. Notting Hill, Queen, and I've already got Snow White, so I don't really need duplicates. What else we got? So yeah, Meatloaf, as I said. I'd keep Flubber. Maybe I'd keep Bowfinger and Life because I like Life, but I'm not sure if I would. Because again, I want my VHS collection to be like things that I consider iconic, like things I really, really are great. And, you know, I don't mind some of the younger films. But the other thing I noticed with this, after doing a lot of research, because I thought about it when I saw it, is there's a lot of royal family content in here, specifically Princess Diana. And there's a lot of royalists out there. Now, I'm neutral, impartial either way, but there's a lot of fascination regarding Princess Diana. And there was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think there's 11 or 12 because I'm not sure what that purple one is. There's 11 guaranteed to be Princess Diana. One is the royal wedding. And each of them I've seen. I haven't seen each of them. I've just looked up any reference of Diana, for instance. They're looking around about £6 for a video. Now, some of them videos may be rarer than others. So your base mark is £6 per video, and there's 12. So you eventually got almost like £70 worth of Princess Diana videos there, depending on how you obviously sell them and what you do. But that, plus all the other fodder that's in there. You've even got this classic section with Gone with the Wind, Casablanca, and all that. I'm not really a classic sort of person, so I'm not sure if that much interest that is to me. But again, I would get the box out, get the ones I want, and then start segregating all the Princess Diana together. Anything to do with like documentaries, put them together, put anything. And eventually you've got some sets we can maybe start looking to move on. Again, if they're working. Then I've got this one. And like this, there's this steam train one, and I was thinking, what on earth? I'm not interested in that. But I noticed it was like steam train 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I went on eBay and they were looking. Some were £5, £6, but then some were £12 each. And I thought, but I've got if they're like working, for instance, that's 4 at £12 each. You can do a bundle link for like £40 or something, £30. You can just drop the price because I'm not losing anything. It's all profit, So you can just who cares? Just get rid of it. So I thought that was great. Then you've got a couple of like animal documentaries, Reader's Digest. I don't suppose they're worth much. These ones I noticed was this Scotland, England, and it was a Wales one somewhere around here. Scotland, England, Wales here. And they're documentaries like the countries. They're not worth a lot. I looked them up, but I thought, to be honest, I like that. And they've got other ones as well. So I'm thinking about if I like them enough, I might get the Ireland one as well. But that's cool. So, it's giving me a little thing to go down. This Labyrinth one is the one that disappointed me. I thought it was the film The Labyrinth. I'm not a fan of the film, but I recognise how iconic it is. So I thought I might be able to get some money for that. Upon Googling, eBaying to search for Labyrinth, this is a 20-minute animated thing. There's nothing to do with that film. But when I searched it, it was only, I think it was 1. If it's not 1, it's 2. But I'm pretty sure it's 1. There's only 1 or 2 listings for that film. There was obviously the other Labyrinth. Now, I'm not saying that makes it valuable because it might be there's only 2 in existence and no one gives a shit. because that can happen. You can have it rare, but no one cares it's rare because no one even knows it exists. It can be that rare, no one even knows it exists or gives a crap. It's the fact that it's 20 minutes is a bit worrying. But anyway, that was interesting after a little research. And that's what it does. It sends you down a rabbit hole of, research. But yeah, so I think between, at the bare minimum, between the Princess Diana and these sort of steam train things, I don't know what the money's going to be, but you can definitely see a profit coming from this. So it makes you wonder why people just keep getting rid of things quickly. Like, why not take the time to separate shit? We've got Dragonheart on VHS. There's some other like random movies like Bedazzled, things like that. But again, you merge them all together. There's Billy Connolly comedy stuff. Some people are into comedy, so it might be, if you find a niche for that, I might be able to put them all together. Maybe there's 3 or 4. I've seen people selling £25 for sofas for them. So you just undercut the price a little bit, get rid of them for 20 quid, maybe even 15 quid. Bosh. 15 quid for the Billy Connolly ones, for instance, if that worked out, that pays my whole box. So that's cool. I'd keep Austin Powers Gold member, if it's working, of course. Stuart Little, might as well. And there is a Billy Connolly film, The Man Who Sued God. I may keep it, I may not. I didn't see that before. Highlander 3. That might be worth keeping. Yeah, but anyway, it's a little random stuff in here, to be honest. Well, there's like 3 Riverdance ones I saw. Because you've got the Lord of the Dance here. We've got Riverdance. No, not that one. This one, the blue one, it's Riverdance. And then over here, there was another one. Where did I see it? Oh, I can't remember where I saw it now. Oh, this gold one. Michael Flatley Gold. So that's like tap dancey thing he's got. And a lot of people like that, or the older generation anyway. There's 3 of them. I don't know what they're worth, but let's say a tenner for free. It's all a good profit there, isn't there? So, I mean, I've only covered so much of that, and like I say, it's cost me 96 quid for all this stuff, but I don't consider it a loss. So it's part of the money from the VR. But £96 is solely for the videos. It doesn't include my cassette deck and everything, But I mean, the argument there is you're still going to get a lot back. The 4 films that are rare will only increase in value. They'll continue to increase. Of course, they have to arrive first. And these ones are just for personal thing. I don't suppose their value will go up or down. It's just I want them. I have to be careful with this, actually, because they've worded that wrong. This one says Tom Hanks' Forrest Gump and something a simple plan. And yet they put a photo of that. I'd have to see when that turns up what bundle I get, because I've only just noticed that. They may have done the photo wrong. I'll be annoyed if it is, but at the same time, I do want Forrest Gump and I do want a simple plan. So that's interesting. I don't know if I showed the other layer, actually. I forgot to show it on the VHS tapes, didn't I? There's one more layer. So, yeah, Simple Plan is included, but I don't mind having that again because I think, Simple Wish. I didn't want Simple Plan. I'll have to communicate with them if I don't like that box set because I just say the photo doesn't say that at all. I don't know why you put that there. But I do want Forrest Gump, but I'll have to think about what that film was now. I might have to email them. I don't know. So anyway, we've got Simple Wish and Matilda, if that box set's good. So that's what I'm hoping for. Hoping that it's there because literally Simple Wish is on my list of films to buy on VHS. And You've Got Mal. I love You've Got Mal. I got it just recently bought on DVD. But that, if you actually go on eBay, is £6 on its own. But I wouldn't be getting it for profit. But it just does show that this box, if it works out, this box is a bargain. It's crazy. This is a different Locomotives box set. I think it says free video box set, but I may be wrong. It may be them free, the 1 to 3s. Because we've also seen Titanic box and it's Titanic separately at the bottom of the box as well. Yeah, I think there's some stuff in here that's going to be absolute crap. I'm reluctant just to throw anything because I don't think it's ideal. I haven't seen that film. It might be good. I don't know. But I think, to be honest, there's been an outlay. I'm not going to spend any more for a while now. Because you can go crazy. There's other films I want to get, desperately want in my collection, but it's not that urgent. I have to have some control. Otherwise, it just gets a bit mental. I think if you think about it, you're going to buy retro. I think spend £100. I think it was a good £100 spent in my eyes. There was some bundles I really wanted, some films I desperately wanted, and some random opportunities really that could work out quite beautiful. So the thing about this one is the quality because that's how they're selling them. This one here is a bit more of a risk because you don't know what ones are any good. But then I think that's all part of the charm. And that's what I've done, all for the sake of selling my little VR headset that I didn't even use. Or barely using it anymore. I did like it when I was using it, but it's just been sitting on a cupboard now for a long time. Just sitting there in random use for 10, 15 minutes and then put back again. It's like, this is just stupid because it's just aging. That's degrading and losing value now because we've got the MetaQuest 3 and you've got the other ones. That's the difference with technology. Those sort of devices just drop. Whereas when you're investing in like retro stuff, the price is only ever going up. So yeah, it's pretty. It's actually in terms of long term, great, and it's worth doing.